All right, welcome back to the Vegas Guys Locker Room. I'm here with my dad, and as everybody knows,
Hello, everybody.
it is hockey time.
It is hockey time.
So we got a good show lined up for you. We're going to get down into the news and notes. Why don't we start with some of the big blockbuster trades that happened over this past week?
Okay, let's see. We got Tyler Bertuzzi from the Detroit Red Wings that went to the Bruins.
Yeah, that's a big deal because the Bruins definitely gave up a lot. They gave up a first rounder in 2024 and a fourth rounder in 2025 for this for Tyler Bertuzzi. I think he's coming up on a contract need, and Detroit is trying to gather pieces. Biggest thing with Tyler Bertuzzi is, can he stay healthy? This year has been kind of rough for him. He's been in and out of the lineup, lots of injuries. The guy plays hard, so he definitely plays Bruins hockey. So I can see that being successful for them. I think it's a good fit there.
It just makes Bruins even better.
Well, they have to go for it because it's with the Bergeron probably being his last season.
Yeah,
You're going to lose your captain. I think some uncertainty things are going to happen there. Marchand, you're going to have to pay all these guys coming up. So it's going to be curious to see what happens after the season. Should be an interesting offseason. Hopefully the Boston Bruins can make a deep run.
Didn't the Bruins lock up Pasternak with an 8-year contract for $90 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So huge contract. That's what I'm saying. It's going to take up a lot of the salary.
It is.
Because, that's 8 years for 90. So that's already over $10 million a year. So
Wow.
it's going to be interesting going forward. Next trade, listen, the Hurricanes are making moves too. Shane Gostisbehere and Jesse Puljujarvi from Edmonton. They made some moves there.
Exactly. Those are some good moves for Carolina too.
Puljujarvi, it's tough. He's a good young player. He didn't really come into what he needed to be in Edmonton. I think he was kind of a fill-in player. Curious to see maybe change the scenery. Maybe that's what this guy needs to get his career back on track because he was a good young prospect, but it's starting to get to that point where it's almost a bust situation for him.
Well, he didn't fit in with Edmonton because you got so many strong players for Edmonton.
Well, they gave him.
You got Draisaitl.
Yeah, but he's been given plenty of shots. He's been on the Draisaitl line. He's played on the McDavid line, and a lot of times he's just not capitalizing.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can do better. But Shane Gostisbehere, that's a big one. The Coyotes have been talking about trading Gostisbehere for 3-4 years.
Yeah, for a while now.
And it's that whole thing that's always a movement watch where you're looking at it and going, oh, Gostisbehere's going to get traded. He's going to get traded. And you see him get sat out because they're trying to actively trade him, but nobody picks him up because Arizona had always been asking for too much. But they finally were able to find a deal, and it was interesting to see. They got a third round in 2026.
Cool.
So Gostisbehere goes to Carolina. I think that Carolina is really trying to make a move. The East is going to be very, very tight. I think it's going to be fun to watch the East this year.
No kidding.
Edmonton tries to make some moves. They pick up Matthias Ekholm, looking to try to add some defense to that offense.
Right. They got him from Nashville, right?
Interesting to see. He's an experienced player. Obviously, he's got some time in the league. I'm curious to see how he fits in because the way they play hockey in Edmonton, sometimes it's tough to be a defensive defenseman in Edmonton the way they play all out.
Right.
With speed. So curious to see how that's going to go going forward.
Well, they need help in the defense.
Yeah, they do. They really do. But it's the structure is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The structure of how they play hockey in Edmonton is all speed, attack. And listen, for all Connor McDavid, he is he's the most offensive talented player I've seen, but he doesn't play defense.
No, not at all.
And neither does Draisaitl.
No.
Those guys do not play defense.
And that's why they needed help in defense.
Yeah, they're not two-way players. They technically go for the highlight reel guys, and that's what you got a lot of in Edmonton.
That's why they're on the hat.
Yeah, so
they're on the highlight reel.
Yeah, they're always on the highlight reel. What else? What other trades we got that happened?
Oh, well, you got the New York Rangers picked up Patrick Kane there from Chicago.
Yeah, that was a big one. Remember, I had speculated that they would have to give up a lot for Patrick Kane. They really didn't have to give up much.
I think Chicago wanted him gone anyway. I really do.
No, it wasn't that Chicago wanted him gone because he had a no movement clause.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's why I don't think he was happy there.
No, he was perfectly happy there. He wanted to retire there,
Did he?
but he wanted to win. But Chicago's in the middle of a rebuild because of those big contracts when they had those great runs to the Stanley Cups.
And he don't want to go through the rebuild.
And he doesn't want to do it. Well, he's getting older.
Yeah.
And so he held the Blackhawks hostage because the only person he would accept going to was the New York Rangers. So I believe there was 3 teams involved, right? I can't remember the details offhand, but I know 50% of it got picked up by the third team involved. Really, Chicago only gets, I think they got like a 5th rounder or something like that. It was something minuscule.
Right.
To where I was like, that's all they gave up? Like, that's all they got in return for Kaner? And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? He held them hostage because he wanted to move. He wasn't going to resign. They were just looking to get something.
Right.
Now it's great because now they can move on for Patrick Kane. Look for the rebuild. Get their prospects more involved. Get them some more ice time. See what they've got as far as depth and get ready for the offseason.
Right.
So, New York definitely making a big splash. You know, they picked up Tarasenko earlier. I'm more worried that they just got too much there. And I know listened to a lot of experts on NHL Network. And
someone's not going to share.
They've said the same thing, that I think you've just got too many guys wanting the puck now.
Yeah.
You got too many guys. But curious to see how this is going to work out. Ottawa making a move. It was curious to see whether Ottawa was going to be sellers or if they were going to be buyers. And they pick up Jacob Chikrin from Arizona. Arizona's just having a dumpster fire. I mean, they're just selling everybody off. Unfortunately, it's just that, man, for the Coyote fans, you guys that's been a long struggle for those guys.
Well, with the move and everything, I think it hurt them. I think it hurt them bad.
No, it actually helped them out. The players actually like it better because it's not an empty arena.
Yeah, but what about the fans? That's
what fans.
Yeah.
What fans that nobody was going to the game.
Exactly.
We went to Arizona because it was actually cheaper to get a hotel, go to the Arizona Coyotes game than it was to go to a Vegas Golden Knights
Exactly.
game. Right. So, yeah, curious to see. But yeah, Ottawa does make a move. Listen, I like him. He's a good defenseman. He's one guy's good. He's kind of wanted to be out. The biggest thing I thought at the trade deadline was Toronto, and I really want to talk about them. They made a lot of moves.
They sure did.
Luke Schenn was the latest one. Another defensive defenseman. Guy
From
will
Vancouver.
hit. He will hit. He will block shots. I think he's a good player. Here's the problem I have with it. You got 6 new guys. You picked up 6 new players onto your active roster. That's a third of your team.
And they're not used to playing with each other, so they've got to really work it together.
Apologize. No, you're only suiting up 18 skaters, and then so that's a third of your team. There's no chemistry there. With 20 games to go.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The chemistry's not going to be there.
There's going to be no chemistry there with 20 games to go.
But then again, hopefully they'll surprise us. You never know. It might click. You don't know.
I'm curious to see. I don't know about that one.
Time will tell. This week will tell.
Time will tell on them. Another big one was the Stars, man. The Stars are really making a move. And they look really, really good lately. And they went and got...
Dallas was phenomenal last
And they went and got Max Domi from Chicago. Max Domi's kind of a journeyman guy. I think that he had a lot of hype. His father played in the league, of course, was a hard-nosed player. But he goes from Chicago to Dallas. Chicago got more in that deal than they did from the Kaner deal.
For Patrick.
They got a second-round pick in 2025 for Max Domi. That was way better than what they got for Patrick Kane.
Yeah.
So, really curious on that one. That was what was really surprising to me. But that was big. I think the winners of this trade deadline, who do you think was the biggest winner?
I think Dallas. I know that in a lot of the news reports that I read, it was Boston was number one, that they made out the best.
That's where I went. I went with Boston.
I didn't want to say that because I always get picked on.
Because you're a homer. You're such a fucking homer. You are such a homer.
I am. I'm a Boston Vegas Golden Knights fan. That's all there is to it.
So curious to see, but I think Boston was the biggest winner. I think they definitely they put all their chips on the table. So it's going to be tough. I know if they don't get there this year, there's going to be some lean.
I mean, they've already got 103 points in 62 games.
Yeah, I mean they could break. I mean, I know they weren't on pace to break the record. I think they were on pace to tie the record for points in the season. But I'm curious because if this doesn't work and they get put out in the first or second round, it's going to be a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to lose Bergeron, your leader, your emotional leader in that locker room. What do you do? What do you do with this team? Because you've got a lot of big names now there that are going to want to get paid.
Well, they made the move with Pasternak, so he's a lot.
Yeah, Pasta's locked up. Marchand's going to be another thing. Now you picked up Tyler Bertuzzi. Charlie Coyle's been solid there. Krejci's still there, but it's an older team. Your studs are much older than your youth.
I think sooner or later they're going to have to look at rebuilding too.
I think their defensemen are solid. I think they got their top 3 defensemen I think are solid. And Ullmark has been such a great surprise.
I like Swayman.
Swayman's been good. But the problem with Swayman is he's streaky. If he has a bad game, it's going to be a streak of bad games. It's the one thing about Swayman. If he goes bad, it's bad for a little while.
This year.
Yeah, that's what. Look at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
he was terrible.
Okay,
he was terrible at the beginning of the year. He was god awful. He goes on these streaks. He's got to get more consistent where he can bounce back. That was the one thing I haven't seen from Swayman is he can have a bad game and then the next game be just lights out. I really haven't seen that from Swayman. Ullmark, I've seen that from.
I dropped him.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I saw you drop Swayman, but I mean it's tough because it's a committee thing there. It's a tough situation there, especially when they're playing hot. It was a little different when Swayman was playing bad and he wasn't getting a lot of starts. Ullmark was getting most of the starts.
Exactly.
But then Swayman started picking up his game. Like I said, he's a streak player. I think he plays off his confidence, and once his confidence goes, so does his performance. But I think Boston made up the tune. I think they're going to win their division, and I think they get out, and I think they win the East. Listen, I hate it because President Trophy winners usually just tank in the playoffs.
But I don't see it. I
think they're too good, and I think there's just too many good leaders on that team to let that happen. And they've been there before. I mean, they should have won the cup a few years
totally
ago.
Agree.
I thought they should have beat the Blues, or they should have beat the Stars to get to the finals, right? No, to beat the Blues. I'm sorry.
Blues.
I thought they should have beat the Blues. I thought they had the better team that year, but I just think that momentum was on the St. Louis side that year.
Yeah.
So they've got experience there. They're hungry to get there. I know Bergeron wants to get back there. He wants to get there again before he retires. So, yeah, I like Boston.
I'm hoping, my Stanley Cup dream, hoping it comes true.
It's interesting. What is our league? We'll briefly go over our personal fantasy league in the standings for you guys listening. What's our league look like right now?
Man, it's so tight. It's I had it. Oh, let me.
I know the black division is pretty much set. It's you, Kevin,
the top
and Ray.
3 are set. It's the red that's up.
It's more interesting in the red division because I think Lee has locked up the first spot.
I think so too.
It's now, but there's still a battle for second and third in that between 3 other teams.
Yes.
Myself, Nathan, and Steve are still in the running for this, and it's great because it's getting at it.
And they're all sweating the load.
Because we're talking smack in the office at work, and we're just like, I hope you beat that turd. You're like, who's he playing? You. And it's great because I know. I think I was talking to Steve last night, and I said, I think so-and-so is going to win. He goes, oh, yeah, he's going to beat me. And I said, you're darn right he is. I need to get back in the third, buddy. I need to get back in the playoff
Every week I get cremated by a hat trick.
Oh, the worst thing that happened to me is, Jody plays me, and she has the high score for the week. That's the worst feeling. It brought me back to fantasy football where I'm like, really? I have the 3rd highest score, and I played the highest score of the week. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
And it's the last place team. And I'm like, really? You showed up this week?
Well, it don't look good I beat ESPN twice so far this season. He hasn't beat me. So, but because of that hat trick, I put him up. He's got me this week. And I had McDavid had a shot, and he had 2 goals in the first period. I was like, all right, we're going to get a hat trick out of them. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, you still got Marshy on the bench?
No, Marshy's playing. He got.
Yeah, because he's had a decent week.
Yeah.
He's had some good week. But yeah, it's tight. So it's going to get good. I know.
I got Meyer on the bench.
It's going to come down. That's okay. He's getting used to that system, so that's curious. But it's going to be tight between that red division. I know we still got one more week after this week.
One more.
One more. So it's going to come down to the wire.
Guess who you play the last week?
I play you.
Yes.
I play you this week. So it's interesting. So that's why I needed both those guys to lose to even have.
I'm going to knock them out. Don't worry, guys.
Oh, get out of here. You sick those guys. I got $10 with your name on it. You're in the tank. So, but anyways, all right, we'll go over some of the fantasy leaders for the week. Draisaitl, of course, Morrissey, Connor McDavid, all top notch in their trends.
Exactly.
Braden Point's been on. Kirill Kaprizov for me has been finally getting some goals going. I like it. He's finally getting to where I need him to be. But Claude Giroux, he's coming through. I like it's been a good week. A lot of big names have really risen to the top.
Did you see the scores this week?
Yeah, it's insane. Some guys are really playing out. But the ones I'm really surprised at, Anze Kopitar. Anze Kopitar's way up there. LA has looked good lately.
Yeah,
they look fast. They're playing with some Rope Hintz. Rope Hintz in Dallas. He's really started to turn it on. And you mix that in with now Jason Robertson. Man, I'm a little worried about Dallas.
I love Robertson, man.
I'm a little worried about Dallas.
One of my best choices.
Yeah, he's gone off. And, of course, with Miro Hishkin in there.
I'm shocked at the Kraken. They've won, what, 3 in a row. Today, they're going for their 4th in a row. Yeah.
I just can't bet on Seattle. Their goaltending is atrocious. Yeah. They literally have to win games like 8-6.
Yeah.
And that's just how they have to win. It has to be nothing but scoring. They're one team that
they're fast.
Their defense stinks.
Yeah.
It stinks. And their goaltending stinks even more. Martin Jones, oh my God. How does that man still have a starting job?
I don't know.
That man gives up more goals than some retirees. I'm like, my goodness. It's insane. But yeah, some big leaders, of course, Connor McDavid's on pace for a huge year. Dmitry Orlov getting up there in Boston. He's made an impact already.
What a shot. That's what I was going to just say, too. Yeah, he just shot. What did he get? 3 goals? He's got 3 goals already.
3 goals in Boston? I can't.
Yeah.
But he has really stepped up his game over there. That was a huge deal. So, yeah, some of those guys. Tim Stützle of Ottawa. He had a great week.
Yeah.
Because I know I was listening to the Ottawa game. He has been on fire as of late. But, yeah, those are some of your leaders for this week.
You know, when you look at it, too, everybody's starting to pick it up now because of the trade.
Yeah, and here's the big thing, too. If you drafted defensemen that are that block shots, that hit, you're starting to get huge points out of those guys.
Yeah.
Because it's starting to get the playoff hockey atmosphere.
Exactly.
The hits are starting to go up. It's getting a little more physical. So the way our league is structured, you do get more points for like hits and block shots. Because I was like, listen, I want the guy who's putting their body on the line. I think that guy deserves a little fantasy love.
The only problem is they're more prone for injury.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I wanted to show those guys, like, those guys do that work that nobody wants to do. Who wants to get in front of an 88-mile-an-hour slap shot? Not me.
Or a 96 mile.
I want to throw them. I want to throw those guys some love. Hey, man, you're diving in front of that thing? Yeah, good for you, buddy.
I agree. I totally agree.
So that's why I wanted to show. So in our league, we get a little bit more.
You know what? That's one of the things that I regret on my choices. I did not even look at block shots.
Yeah.
Who were your big defenseman blocking?
I didn't realize how big it was going to be an impact on.
Yeah.
Until it really got about maybe.
So that's something that everybody's got to look at for next year. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, those are your top guys. I mean, listen, it's pretty much been the same. There's really, if you're looking at some of these trades, it might have moved some people up in standing. So if you're looking at maybe you're dealing with some injuries, look at some of the guys who are now going to get opportunities. Maybe you can fill in, and you never know. You might find a gem. You can find somebody that actually stands out. You don't know. It's going to be tough, but look at the guys playing on the top line. Who's going to get the top line minutes? Who's going to get the top line power play minutes? Especially those type of guys. I hate to say it because he struggled. You know, the team, of course, I watch the most, the Vegas Golden Knights. It's somebody almost like a William Karlsson. He gets second line minutes, he gets power play minutes, and he gets penalty kill minutes. Those are the guys you kind of want because you want your guys on the ice because they're going to get points.
That's right.
They're going to get. Those are the times. So if you're dealing with injuries, look for those guys that play on all the special teams and have first or second line minutes because you're going to get a lot of time out of them, and you got better chance of getting points.
I totally agree.
So.
And a good point about this show is bringing people all the information so next year also they get to make better choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I like it. But, yeah, this is the time of year you look at that. I think everybody's kind of got a better feel of how the league works now. I think next year could possibly be more fun if everybody returns.
I hope we get more.
I hope. Yeah, it's tough because you don't want to do too many teams because then you really it gets to be a little difficult.
I was thinking at least a dozen.
I like the 10-team format.
Do you?
Yeah, I like the 10-team format. I think next year I might add an extra bench spot, but I'm curious to see. What
you know what? That was something too, because when you get someone injured on IR, you really don't want to lose it because then you don't.
But that's why I did it that way.
I know it,
because the thing is, I knew everybody was new to. A lot of people are new to hockey in our league. I wanted them to force to go look at players.
Oh,
so they got familiar with players.
Understood.
So you know what I mean? Yeah. And I know Ray has attested to this. He's watched more hockey than ever because he's like, I don't know who these guys are. So he watches more hockey, and now he realizes, like, man, there's a lot of good players out there, and he's starting to get more
that's good.
Informed on it. So yeah, I did that on purpose to make people look at free agents, so that way they were actually looking at different players.
Okay,
it's still hilarious to listen to them.
I'm shocked that some people didn't make trades.
Yeah,
trades,
you know what?
and
I think I think me and Sean were the only ones that made a trade.
I put in for a couple,
but I think the
responded.
only trade that was made was between me and Sean.
Yeah,
I think that was the only trade that was made this year. Yeah, it was very, very unusual. I think if people paid more attention to it,
I think if they understood it a little more too.
Yeah,
and this helps. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, this is what we try to do this to help everybody out, and hopefully everybody's listening. But I know a lot of people listen. Not a lot of people had time to look at stuff. I know Kevin didn't really pay attention to a whole lot of it.
I think this is a season. I've watched more hockey this season.
Yeah,
than I did my whole life.
You have to want to watch hockey. That's the biggest thing. So, maybe I don't know if we get 10 teams. Maybe we have to lower it down to 8 just because of participation. I want to make sure everybody participates.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it was fun. It's fun.
I'm
loving every minute of it.
I love hockey. So I love watching hockey. I try to watch as much hockey. I know Ray watches hockey like crazy. I know I try to watch as much hockey as I can. Jace gets into it.
It's hard when you're working.
It's tough. It's tough. And then with Jace wanting to play all the time, it's tough. It's tough to get involved. So a lot of times I'll have it on, but I only catch glimpses. So. I try to watch the highlights in it at night and try to take notes and see who's on a tear. But even that gets difficult to take 20, 30 minutes out of my day because I'm like, I just want to go to sleep. So, or I just want to shut the brain off for a little while because at work you just get, everybody knows when you're working, you want to turn the brain off for a little while. So, all right, we're going to start a new segment. It's our Golden Knights talk. We're going to end the show with some Golden Knights talk.
I love the Golden Knights.
I think that's a good way to break it down because everybody here is most of our friends that play in our league are our friends and they live in Vegas and we're all Golden Knight fans.
Yeah, we are.
So, what did you think about the 2 trades they made? The 2 acquisitions. I thought Barbashev and Bluger.
I think we definitely need help on the defense.
I think our blue line is solid. The problem is with Nick Hague, it's just inexperience with a lot of them. White Cloud coming back from injury, he didn't play, so he's trying to build back the chemistry. Nick Hague, I think listening to the press conference after the game of Bruce Cassidy, I think he put it perfectly. Nick Hague is strongest when he keeps everything simple. When he sees it, just go. Stop trying to look for other options.
Right.
And then trying to do too much with the puck. And I think that's where they need it. Nick Hague needs to just go, there it is, move, and just get the puck out. A lot of those guys are trying to look for second and third options. Just go. Just go. See what it is, move.
Go with that your gut feeling.
Yeah, go with that. You see it's open. You see the first option open. Just take it. Just go. Keep everything simple. Shea Theodore he's one of those guys who can kind of ad lib because his puck handling skills are more impressive than most.
It didn't impress me the last game. He lost the puck a lot.
Oh, because he tries to do too much. When he does too much in the offensive zone.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He tries to do too much.
And I don't mind that.
I don't mind that so much. Where I mind it is in our own zone, where they're do I move it this way? And then all of a sudden they turn the puck over on our own zone.
Well, I think that we need to work on the passing to get rid of the puck a little quicker because
but that's what they were saying.
Everybody seems to know that if they attack us, we turn it over.
But that was what Bruce Cassidy was saying. Just if you make the first read and it's there, go with it.
Go with it.
Stop trying to do too much. Stop trying to look for the big play. Just go with it. And I think that's what he's trying to get them to do.
Right.
I do like the depth we added to the team because if you notice and realize the first portion of the year when we were hurt, we were kind of limited on our options. We played the same style of game every day. And the one thing I was excited when we got Bruce Cassidy as a head coach was his ability to change how we play on a game-to-game basis. And you're starting to see that once we picked up Barbashev and now with Bluger. And I think Bluger came in hand because we lost Nick Waugh.
Right.
And I think with this, you're starting to see them play like you saw them play against Carolina. Carolina likes to pinch their defenseman. We lobbed that puck out of there and going, hey, we're going to get fast breaks. Screw it. Let's see. Let's see what we can get. You saw more lob passes in that game than I've seen the Golden Knights do all season.
All season, right.
And then when they came back, the last game, it was more conventional. It was more, okay, we're going to move the puck around, move it a little bit more. It's a completely different style. I love watching that from the Golden Knights. And that's what I like to see when I saw that Bruce Cassidy was going to be a head coach because that's options there.
That's good. Good.
But what did you think? What do you think of Barbashev?
I want to watch him a little more. I think just 1 or 2 games.
Did you not watch a lot of him when he was in St. Louis?
I did not. I did not. I pretty much the teams I was watching this whole season on the teams that are up for the position for the playoffs.
Okay,
those were the playoff games. St. Louis, I knew wasn't going to be close, so I didn't watch it.
Okay,
I mean, unless they were playing the Knights.
I mean, Barbashev he's a complete player. Like he's still young. I believe he's still in his mid-20s.
I think he's 24, ain't he?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, mid-20s or something. If you watch the last game where Marshall Schultz had the 2 goals, it's all set up by Barbashev.
Yeah.
He's starting to build he's one of those guys who can be that I can play the outside, move the puck around, or I can get inside and get the dirty goals.
One of the goals that Marshall got, though, was shot by Theodore, and it missed the net so big it just happened to pop out.
Yeah, no, it was basically a shot pass. It wasn't a shot to get on goal. It was a shot to get it around the other side because the goaltender was playing so heavy on one side.
And Marshy had to reach for it.
And that's why it had to be such a hard shot to get the ricochet to come back quick enough to where it was an open net for Marshy.
Yeah.
So, no, that was a good one, but Barbashev assisted on both those goals.
Right.
So, especially that second one. The second one, I believe the second one was on the other end where it was a no-look pass from Barbashev right to Marshy, who was wide open in the slot.
Yeah.
So, I like Barbashev. I think he's
always looking.
You can move him. He plays defense. He plays tough. You saw him. He's hitting.
Yeah.
He hits. He's not afraid of contact. He can get physical, and he can also play a finesse game. I like Barbashev.
I didn't even look. Do you know how many hits he had the last?
No, I didn't see his hits. But they definitely, when they finally decided to pick up their game, is when they decided to get physical. So that's another point. They tried the finesse game at first. It wasn't working. Let's get physical. Knock them on their butt.
Yeah.
Bluger, he comes from a winning locker room, coming from Pittsburgh.
And he wants to win.
He wants to win.
So, that's good. Maybe that'll make Marcia a little better for me next week when I can play you.
And then now the big thing is Jonathan Quick.
Oh, man. That's the big news of the week. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I saw that.
Yeah,
but boy, did we need it.
Yeah, we needed some depth at goaltending. We were getting a little long because of the injuries. Thompson, then Brossoit went out again.
Brossoit was a disappointment. I told Mom when we were watching the shootout, and I was like, he's going to lose the shootout. There's no way he's going to. And he didn't even stop at one. Hill played a pretty good game the other day.
Hill played okay. Yeah, the last game he really played saved good. The game. He saved the game. How do you go the entire OT with no damn shot on goal?
I don't know.
On 3-on-3, huh?
Yeah, that hurt.
You can't get a single shot on goal. Holy smokes!
Well, I think in the first period we only had 4 shots.
We had 4 shots, but to go an entire, how much ice is available? And you mean to tell me you can't get a shot on net? Brutal. But anyways, yeah, I think Jonathan Quick can help out. I don't think it'll be too much. I think he's just going to be a fill-in guy. He's at that age where you're not going to start him too much. What is he, 36, 37?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's
but the best thing about the trade is we didn't have to give up much. It was a 7th-round pick, and we got Columbus to retain 50% of his contract, of his pay. So that's why we were able to sneak him in under the salary.
That's cool.
This just tells you that probably Stone won't be back for the regular season because they made these moves.
Yeah.
They took that money that he freed up when he went on IR and used it to try to get a little deeper.
So you don't think Stone will be back?
I don't think Stone will be back until the playoffs. So, just my thing. I think that's what they
Didn't
do.
he have back surgery?
He had back
Yeah.
surgery.
I don't
They
know.
were hoping. It wasn't big. It was minor back surgery. They were hoping to get him back, but I don't think he comes back till the playoffs.
He'll be back for the playoffs.
I think so. So that'll be curious.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else you want to go over?
That's it. I mean,
All right.
I'm happy with the way they play. I mean, we're up there. We're winning.
Yeah, we're at 80
Uh,
points. We're tied with LA right now,
LA,
but we do
yeah.
have, I believe, we have a game in hand or 2 games in hand. I think we have 2 games in hand on
Really?
LA. Yeah, I know. We haven't played as many games. It's 1 or 2 games we have in hand on the LA.
So that
Kings.
helps us big time.
Yeah, that's going to help us big time. So going forward, that'll be huge. Guys, we are out of time for the day. Like to thank you guys,
Man,
Dad.
thanks
Thanks
for
for
coming,
joining the
guys.
show. So we're gonna put the old man to work and let him edit the show now.
You got it.
All right, guys.
God bless y'all.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Please follow us. Please subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please review and rate us. That way we can get more viewers on this, guys. So thank you for all your support. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye now.